Right. Right, for all those councillors on present, the meeting will be recorded. Welcome to the May ordinary meeting, Muswellbrook Shire Council. Item 1 is an application for attendance by audio visual link. We have one application, that's from Councillor Barry. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Douglas, Councillor Marshall. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. The acknowledgement of country, Councillor Hartley.
Thank you. Council would like to respectfully acknowledge the local Aboriginal people who are the traditional owners and custodians of the land on which this meeting takes place.
And the civic prayer will be Councillor Dunn.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and of the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Thanks, Councillor Dunn. Please be seated. The next item, we have no apologies or applications for leave, so we have a full team here tonight. Confirmation of minutes. So we got a mover. So, Councillor McNeil, a seconder. Councillor Bailey. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous and carried. Disclosure of any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. I'll start on my left. Councillor Douglas.
I have one item 10.4.4, page 382, awarding of a community grant. Wanneroo Lands Council have put in an application for our 2025 NAIDAP Day. The reason for my declaration is of cumulative significance. I'm the CEO of the Land Council that runs the NAIDAP Day.
Councillor Douglas. Councillor Dunn.
No.
Councillor Scholes.
Well, there you go, no winning. Item number 10.4.3, which is an application by the Muswellbrook Rotary Club for sponsorship regarding the Science and Engineering Challenge. I'm currently immediate past president, and at the time of when this thing was actually held, I'll be the president again.
It's Councillor Scholes. Councillor Marshall.
10.1.2, non-pecuniary interest. In the item, I have a application. Sorry, yeah, that's right. I have an application in.
Councillor Marshall. Councillor Barry on screen.
No, nothing. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Councillor Bailey.
11.4, Mac Energy Mount Pleasant Community Funding Investment Committee, 1st of April. Insignificant, non-pecuniary, given it's just a report and I have no excessive interest, but I work for a company that contracts to Mac Energy.
Thank you. Councillor Mahajan.
Mr. Mayor, I have one item 10.12, monthly report to Council Planning, Environment and Regulatory Service. One of the property listed in this report, I and my wife own this. And to be noted, this application is still in progress.
Thanks, Councillor Mahajan. Councillor McNeil.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have one insignificant non-pecuniary item, 10.4.5, awarding of a community grant, Upper Hunter, where there's a will. The submitter was a former colleague of mine at work, and I advised her of the process to put the submission.
Thanks, Councillor McNeil. Councillor Hartley.
Yeah, 11.4, Mac Energy Mount Pleasant Community Funding Investment Committee. Significant pecuniary interest. Again, I work for a contractor at the site, but due to it only being noting, I deemed insignificant.
Thanks, Councillor Hartley. Councillor Morris.
None.
Councillor Ward. And I have no pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest myself. There is no mayoral minute. There is no public participation tonight. Business arising from previous meetings. There is nil. We'll move straight into business. Item 10.1, planning and environment. So is 10.11 net zero 2050 roadmap update. So the recommendation in the business paper is that Council 1 notes the information contained in the report 2, authorises the general manager to A, commence investigations into the purchase, establishment of carbon offsets from the 2025-26 financial year onward to reduce costs in the long term, given the expectation that council will not be able to achieve net zero targets by changing purchasing decisions and work practices due to council's waste management responsibilities. And B, continue applying for grant funding for landfill gas capture systems when available. C, continue waste education programs in the community to reduce the amount of waste going into landfill. And D, calculate and report the greenhouse gas, GHG, emissions attributable to proposed capital projects, property purchases, sales, and changes to waste management going forward. I have a mover, Councillor Scholes, a seconder, Councillor Ward. Councillor Scholes.
Yes, I move the report. It is a first stage. It is a concern that it identifies that we are potentially going to be up for not going to meet targets, and we're going to have to purchase credits and all the rest of it, which at the end of the day is not the aim of the whole policy. The policy is actually to reduce emissions overall. But I note this is basically a report. I look forward to future reports from the officers with regards to what further actions we're going to take and what other scope of actions there are that we can take in the community to reduce our carbon footprint.
Thanks, Councillor Scholes. Councillor Ward.
Oh. No.
You're right. Anyone else wish to be heard?
Yeah, just a question, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Council engages in a lot of tree planting, National Tree Day, etc.
Yeah.
Are those plantings offsetting the carbon?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councillors. To be able to count your tree planting or other project as a carbon offset, you need to go through quite a detailed process with the federal government. Those projects really are probably way too small to invest the time and money to do the auditing and accreditation required to meet the federal government's requirements. If we chose a much bigger project, we would certainly be able to look at using an accreditation for an offset or a carbon credit scheme, definitely.
Thanks very much.
With some trees that bat habitat like. The appropriate, Councillor McNeil. Any further questions on the matter? I'll put that at a mover in a second. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. 10.1.2 monthly report to Council Planning, Environment and Regulatory Services. Did we have any interest? We didn't have anyone there, did we? The recommendation in the business paper is that the information contained in the report be noted. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Morris, Councillor Dunn. Councillor Morris, wish to be heard?
No, thank you.
Councillor Dunn?
No, thank you.
Anyone wish to be heard? Councillor Scholes.
Sorry, just to note that I have got a whole lot of little issues. They're only minor clarifications. It'd be pointless trying to run through them at this particular point in time. It's all right with the general manager. I'll submit them in writing, and if potential, they can be tabled at the next council meeting.
Yeah, it's appropriate. Thanks, Councillor Scholes. No one further wishes to be heard. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. 10.2 Corporate Services. 10/1/2025-2026 Councillor Remuneration. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council notes the Local Government Remuneration Tribunal's 2025 annual determination, and that 1, approves the maximum annual fee of 23,220 for councillors for 2025-2026, and 2, approves the maximum additional annual fee of 50,680 for the position of Mayor 2025-2026, and 3, the 2025-2026 mayoral and councillor fees will also include an additional 12% superannuation fee. Have I someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Morris. Councillor Marshall, you wish to be heard.
Mate, I'd like to make the comment that I think we have a vast network of knowledge within the council that we have now, and that we're very much worthy of the new rate.
Thanks, councillor. Councillor Morris.
No, thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard?
If I could please be,
Yep.
Mr Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you, Mr Mayor and councillors. Just in relation to this matter, councillors, my observation is that councillors are very humble in relation to this and find it awkward to make a decision on this matter. My observation is that councillors are very passionate about our community, that none of our councillors enter into becoming a councillor because of the remuneration. I've seen the councillors work extremely hard since your election in September, and our mayor has worked extraordinary hours in relation to trying to achieve, like all of you, the best results for our community now and into the future. So I think it's really important that there is a reward for that of some kind, and this does help to ameliorate the efforts you make. But secondly, from the perspective of succession planning, there is a requirement for us to be sophisticated and innovative in our approach to encouraging members of the community to elect for this incredibly important position, and to provide increased diversity of representation across our community. And one way we can do that, amongst a range of other methods, is to provide a reasonable level of compensation to councillors for the extraordinary amount of time you give to this community. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Derek, for that support. If no one else wishes to be heard, we'll move in a second. Yeah, you can this time.
So thank you. I'm sorry I'm getting up and talking so much. I'm
going to wear your knee out before you get sick of talking.
my knee is in wonderful shape. No, I just wish to also endorse the general manager's comments with regards to remuneration for services. As a retired councillor, now retired, but did 3 terms as an employed person and working with council. Councillors have to give up a lot of time, and it has been identified earlier tonight. We've actually had councillors who have to take annual leave to fulfil their roles. People can argue, okay, they get paid because annual leave, but that's annual leave they can't take with their family later on. And there's other instances where you actually have to be here, and it impacts on your family, impacts on things. And it's aware, just as council paper tonight, it was 3-hour initial reading, 2-hour follow-up reading, and writing notes, and that was just for this bit. And then when the committees were on and all the rest of it, for myself, I'm a retired person. It's not quite such an impost, but for people who have got to work, the impost to be a councillor is fairly large. And I'd like to acknowledge that with my fellow councillors that are still employed. And if we want to continue to have quality councillors on this council, it can't be, the impost can't be such that it is prohibitive. And I think that we've got to keep going this way. And it's not as if we're asking for, it's not a hell of a lot of money compared to what could be. I think if you sat down and worked it out, you're all on about 50 cents an hour.
Thanks, councillor Giles. No further comment. We have a mover in a second. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. Your councillors, 10.2.2 Community Strategic Plan for endorsement. So the recommendation we have in front of you is that council endorses the Community Strategic Plan 2025 to 2035, following placement of the draft plan on public exhibition for a period of 40 days. Have I a mover? Councillor Dunn and Councillor Morris to second it. Councillor Dunn, do you wish to speak?
No.
Councillor Morris.
Thank you very much. I'd like to commend actually the officers of the council with the amount of work they put, or everybody with the amount of work that they put into this strategic plan, and also the amount of public participation that we've had in building it was admirable.
Thanks, Councillor Morris. Anyone else wish to comment? I'll briefly make some comments myself, just to reiterate Councillor Morris's comments. The staff have worked extremely hard, and you're right, councillors. We've been to a lot of meetings ourselves and done an awful lot with it. But the amount of community input, it's the most community input. It might be about twice the amount of community input this council's ever had into a plan. I hope really gives ownership to the community that they really do own this plan. Certainly gives us a pretty good direction on where they want us to head for the next 10 years. So I do commend the plan, and certainly thank the staff for the amount of work they've done. We have a mover and a seconder. If there's no further discussion, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare that unanimous and carried. 10.2.3 Code of Meeting Practice for Adoption. So the recommendation in front of you simply reads that council adopts the attached Code of Meeting Practice. Have I a mover for that? Councillor McNeil. A seconder? Councillor Hartley? Councillor McNeil, wish to speak? No. Councillor Hartley?
No.
Anyone wish to be heard? If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against, or declare that unanimous and carried? 10.2.4 Draft Financial Reserve Management Policy for Public Exhibition. So the motion in front of you reads that council endorses the draft financial reserve management policy for placement on public exhibition via council's website for a period of 28 days. 2, if no submissions are received in relation to the draft financial reserve management policy during the public exhibition period, then council resolves to adopt the draft financial reserve management policy on the day following the conclusion. And 3, if submissions are received in relation to the draft financial reserve management policy during the public exhibition period, then a further report will be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Have I a mover? Councillor Scholes. Councillor Mahajan. Thank you. Councillor Scholes.
No.
To be heard? Councillor Mahajan? Councillor Scholes does?
Yeah. No, again, I find it embarrassing how often we have to thank our council officers. It's also gratifying to be able to do it. Again, it's a tidy up of a report. It's a very good, a hell of a lot of editing and correction and fixing up has gone on this report, and I commend it, and I recommend to the community that they actually do sit down and have a read of it.
Councillor Mahajan?
No, thank you.
Anyone else wish to be heard in the matter? If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors. Draft modern slavery policy for public exhibition. So the recommendation reads that 1, council endorses the draft modern slavery policy for placement on public exhibition by council's website for a period of 28 days. 2, if no submissions are received in relation to the draft modern slavery policy during the public exhibition period, then council resolves to adopt the draft modern slavery policy on the day following the conclusion of the exhibition period. And 3, if submissions are received in relation to the draft modern slavery policy during the public exhibition period, then a further report will be submitted to council for consideration of submissions received during the exhibition period. Have I a mover? Councillor Morris, Councillor Bailey. Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Councillor Bailey. Anyone wish to comment? Anyone wish to be any questions? If that's the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Again, unanimous and carried. Thank you. Progress report. 2022 to 2026 delivery program and 2024 to 2025 operational plan. So the recommendation purely is for noting. Council notes the progress of the report on the 2022-2026 delivery program and the 2024-2025 operational plan. Have I a mover? Councillor Marshall. Someone to second it? Councillor Dunn. Councillor Marshall, do you wish to speak?
No, thank you.
Councillor Dunn. Anyone wish to comment? Any questions? Councillor Ward.
Housing, good.
Housing, that's good. Yeah, we have got a number of plans that we're talking to, just to explain Councillor Ward's question. A number of plans we're working towards at the moment in regards to construction housing. So construction housing being able to house the amount of people we expect in our LGA in the next 10 years. We expect that to be in the thousands. So they're going to need somewhere to stay. And obviously this council wants to be able to provide that. And of course, that'll be legacy housing, something we can then go on after that period or even during that period and use for aged care, tourism, accommodation or emergency accommodation, whatever that might be. So thanks, Councillor Ward. Any further questions? If there is none, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. 10.2.7. This is the March 2025 quarterly budget review. The recommendation of the business paper is that council endorses the proposed changes in the March 2025 quarterly budget review. Councillor Scholes will move that and Councillor Mahajan will second that.
Yep.
Councillor Scholes.
No.
Councillor Mahajan.
No, thank you.
I thought that you would have been the two that would have moved it. Councillor Morris probably didn't beat you to the punch. That's certainly good to have councillors quite interested in our budget. Fantastic. There's no questions, no further questions. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Again, unanimous and carried. Thank you. Report on investments. report on investments held as at 30 April 2025. So the recommendation in front of you is that council notes the investments as at 30 April 2025. By a mover, Councillor Morris, we go back to front this time, Councillor Sculls. Councillor Morris, any comment?
No, thank
Councillor Sculls, any further comment? If there's not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors. Monthly financial report. The recommendation of the business paper is that council notes the financial reports for the month ending 30 April 2025.
So moved.
Councillor Sculls, Councillor Mahajan.
Wasn't surprising.
No comment from either.
No.
Thank you, councillors. I'll put that. All those in favour? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. We'll move now on to infrastructure and property. Public amenities and changing places facility at Simpson Park. Officer's recommendation is the recommendation of the business paper is that council 1 endorses the proposed concept design as attached and described in the report, notes the budget available for carrying out of the project, and 3 supports progressing to tender for detailed design and construction. Do I have a mover? Councillor Douglas, and seconder Councillor Morris. Councillor Douglas.
Just want to comment and congratulations to staff. This has been a long time coming and something that's very needed in our community, and it's going to make a massive difference to how community and tourists see us.
Councillor Morris.
No, thank you.
Any further questions?
I just
Councillor Marshall.
I'd like to move an amendment.
You can't move an amendment yet. You can, we can foreshadow an amendment. If this gets beat, you can foreshadow an amendment. Yep.
The amendment would be that I move that we defer the item until the next ordinary council meeting and investigate the building of a freestanding amenities block. Concept design to save the degradation of the trees with the options of more toilets.
Thanks, Councillor Marshall. We'll deal with the motion in front of you first.
A question, please.
Yeah.
Do you think this item would be beneficial for it to go out to public exhibition?
Well, we have a motion in front of us, so we have to deal with that motion first before we deal with another motion. If I can defer to the General Manager, Mr. Lyso, to make some comment about any consultation we had with any group, certainly up on a homeless, I understand.
Up behind a home, sorry. Mr. Mayor, thank you very much, and thank you.
We'll answer that. We'll try and get that question answered regardless.
We predominantly consulted with Upper Hunt the Homeless in relation to their requirements, and I think the design or the concept around that is very very thoughtful and consistent with the council's approach to trying to help the community. That is the consultation we've conducted at the moment. However, our design normally would go out for community consultation through the normal business cycle, but not specifically, Councillor McNeil. No, we haven't gone out to the community in relation to that because I think through the investigation process, this is similar to the approach that was taken at Memorial Park, Denman.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry if I can. The facility is quite similar. In fact, almost identical, isn't it?
I'm so sorry.
Sorry, just to add, I mean, the existing facility is a circle shape. This is a rectangle shape, but essentially it's a replacement of an asset. That's probably the difference where we're proposing something new, or uniquely new. Yeah.
Thanks, Lyso. Any further questions? I'll put the motion in front of you. So it's a recommendation in the business paper. So I'll put that motion. We have a mover and a second. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Councillor Marshall against. I declare that carried. Thank you, councillors. 10.3.2, signage and wayfinding master plan. So the recommendation in the business in front of you is that 1, council places the draft concept developed master signage and wayfinding plan for the Muswellbrook Town Centre precinct on public exhibition for a minimum period of 28 days, and a further report will be submitted to council following the public exhibition period. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Morris, Councillor Bailey. Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Councillor Bailey? Any questions? Any clarifications councillors want? If not, we'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. 10.3.3 is a memorandum of understanding reclassification of Bengalla and Wybong roads. The recommendation in front of you is that Council 1 endorses the memorandum of understanding Bengalla Link Road and Wybong Road MR 709 February 2025, and 2 delegates authority to the General Manager to sign the memorandum of understanding. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Ward, Councillor Hartley. Councillor Ward, wish to speak? Councillor Hartley, any questions, any comment? If there's none, I'll put that. All those in favour? Declare that unanimous and carried. Joint Water Treatment Plant, Muswellbrook Shire, or MSC, Muswellbrook Shire Council, and UHSC, Upper Hunter Shire Council update. So the recommendation in front of you is that Council 1 notes the information contained in the report, 2 approves further concept development of a joint water treatment plant and related facilities in partnership with Upper Hunter Shire Council, and 3 authorises the General Manager to write to the Minister for Water requesting inclusion of the joint water treatment plant in the Greater Hunter Regional Water Strategy. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Morris. Councillor Marshall, any comment?
No.
Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Any comment? Councillor Wood? It is an awful lot of money. These are recorded. I don't know whether the Water Minister, Minister Jackson, might be watching this, but if she is, we need about 300 million. So that would be handy. Any further comment? If there's none, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. 10.4 Community and Economy. So the awarding of sponsorship, Muswellbrook Chamber of Commerce and Industry Awards. The recommendation reads that Council approves cash sponsorship of $2,950, including GST, to Muswellbrook Chamber of Commerce and Industry for staging of the 2025 Muswellbrook Business Awards to be held on Friday, 20 June 2025 at the Muswellbrook RSL. Will be a mover, Councillor Morris, a seconder, Councillor Bailey. Councillor Morris, wish to speak?
No, thank you.
Councillor Bailey, any comment from any councillor? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous again and carried. 10.4.2 is the awarding of a community grant. It's the Rainbow Bricks LUG Incorporated. The resolution, the paper reads that council approves a community grant, so it's a fee waiver equivalent to $562.50 for Rainbow Bricks LUG for the staging of the 2025 Lego Brickfest in Muswellbrook. Have we a mover? Councillor Douglas and Councillor Dunn. Councillor Douglas, wish to speak?
I just think it's a really good opportunity. Everyone will probably realise Lego's on the way back. So to be able to have this in Muswellbrook is a great thing.
Thanks, Councillor Douglas. Councillor Dunn. Any further questions? No Lego questions, Councillor Gold?
There's no Lego.
If there is no further questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. 10.4.3. So 10.4.3, awarding of a community grant, Rotary Club of Muswellbrook Science and Engineering Challenge. The recommendation reads that council approves the community grant, cash and fee waiver, equivalent to $4,149 for costs associated with staging the 2025 Science and Engineering Challenge in Muswellbrook. Have we a mover for that? Councillor Morris and Councillor Marshall. Councillor Morris.
Thank you. I think this is important to try and increase the council's exposure to the youth and to the students in the community. And this is a great step forward for that type of thing. Again, similar to the Lego, although I do understand that's more a mix with adults and children, but this one's specifically designed towards the youth of the area.
Thanks, Councillor Morris. Councillor Marshall.
No, thank you.
Any further questions? Do I agree, Councillor Morris? Any dollars that council can invest in our youth are dollars well spent. If there's no further questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors. We'll get councillor Douglas to swap councillor Scholes. Righto, we'll move on. 10.4.4. So the awarding of a community grant, Wanneroo Local Aboriginal Land Council 2025 NAIDOC Day celebrations. Recommendation reads that council approves, pardon, a community grant, a fee waiver of $1,393 for the holding of the 2025 NAIDOC Week celebration in Muswellbrook on Sunday, 13 July. Have I someone move that way? Councillor Morris. Seconder, Councillor Dunn. Councillor Morris, Councillor Dunn, any comment? No further comment. We'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. We can get councillor.
Oh, no,
I'm insignificant here.
I've done this since work, that's 15 years.
10.4.5, awarding of a community grant, Upper Hunter where there's a will. The recommendation reads that council approves a community grant cash for the purchase of a Brother MFC L8690 CDW wireless multi-function colour laser printer and delivery valued at a total of $764. Have we a mover? Councillor Douglas. Second to Councillor Hartley. Councillor Douglas.
I think it's a really good cause. It does a lot for our community in support, and I think it's great that we can support them.
It's Councillor Douglas. Councillor Hartley.
Yeah, I'll just back up what Dee said there, that, yeah, it's a great charity organisation, and they do a lot in our area, and I think it's a small contribution that we should definitely get behind.
Okay. No problem. Any further? I agree completely. Any further comment? There's no further comment. I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. 10.4.6. The council grant and community engagement update. The recommendation reads that council notes the information contained in the report and endorses council staff to review and apply for funding opportunities identified in the report. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Douglas and Councillor Scholes. Councillor Douglas.
To mention Ivan and the great work that he already does in the grants department. It's a really hard slog. There's so many organisations out there, councils as well, that are trying to get grants. So the work that Ivan and his team does, it should be commended.
Thank you, Councillor Douglas. Councillor Scholes.
No, definitely.
Any further comment? I think Councillor Douglas' sentiments come from all councillors' appreciation of the work, certainly the work our team does. No, with no further comment, we'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. 11, so we'll go through the minutes of committee meetings now. Infrastructure and Property Committee meeting, 8 April. The recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Infrastructure and Property Committee held on 8 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Morris, there'll be a seconder. Councillor Hartley. Councillor Morris, wish to speak?
No, thank you.
Councillor Hartley.
No, thank you.
Does anyone wish to speak to the matter? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. The next committee is the Finance and Governance Committee, 10 April 2025. So the recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee held on 10 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a mover? Councillor Scholes and Councillor Morris, I think, beat Councillor Mahajan. Unless he was hiding behind Councillor McNeil, I didn't see. Do we have a mover? Councillor Scholes?
No.
Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Councillor Mahajan, do you wish to say anything? Since might have been a race, do you think, between the two of you? Any questions? If there's no questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. Better be quick here. Future Fund Committee, 10 April 2025. The recommendation in front of us is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Future Fund Committee held on 10 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations therein. Have I a mover? Councillor Morris and Councillor Scholes to second that. Any comment? Any questions? Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Councillor Scholes?
My one comment is there's a workshop tomorrow. And I would like to see as many of you there as possible because this is an opportunity to actually help direct this and fix this up and get it going again.
Thanks, Councillor Scholes. Any further comment? Any questions? Certainly is an important focus that we have a number of councillors on at the moment. And I certainly appreciate the focus those councillors have on it. I think we might have highlighted the few that have already that have focused quite heavily on it. So thank you, councillors, for that. If there's no further questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. 11.4, the Mac Energy Mount Pleasant Community Funding Investment Committee, 1 April 2025. Recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Mac Energy Mount Pleasant Community Funding Investment Committee held on 1 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a mover? Councillor Marshall, a seconder. Councillor Morris. Councillor Marshall? Any questions? Councillor Morris?
Thank you.
Any questions for any councillors? I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Thank you. 11.5, it's the BHP Mount Arthur Community Funding Investment Committee, 7 April 2025. The recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the BHP Mount Arthur Community Funding Investment Committee held on 7 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Hartley? Councillor Bailey? Councillor Hartley wish to be heard? Councillor Bailey? Any questions about those minutes? If there isn't, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. Thank you. 11.6, the Dartbrook Community Funding Investment Committee. The recommendation of the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Dartbrook Community Funding Investment Committee held on 7 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. I am a mover of those. Councillor Douglas, who attends them. Councillor Marshall. Any questions from any councillor? If there's no questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? None against. Declare it unanimous and carried. And 11, not quite at the end, 11.7, the Malabar Community Funding Investment Committee, 8 April 2025. The recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Malabar Community Funding Investment Committee held on 8 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a mover? Councillor Marshall, a seconder. Councillor Hartley. Anyone wish to be heard? If not, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. Thank you. 11.8. Bengala Community Funding Investment Committee meeting 16 April 2025. The recommendation is again that council notes the minutes of the Bengala Community Funding Investment Committee held on 16 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a mover? Someone want to move that way? Councillor Hartley and Councillor Morris to second it. Any questions? If there's no questions, I'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Declare it unanimous and carried. And 11.9, we're finally at the end of those. 11.9, Mangoola Coal Community Funding Investment Committee, 28 April 2025. Again, the recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Mangoola Coal Community Funding Investment Committee meeting held on 28 April 2025 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Someone want to move that way for me? Councillor Hartley, Councillor Morris. Any questions about those minutes? Being the case, we'll put that. All those in favour? Any against? Unanimous and carried. Questions for next meeting. We'll start on my left. Councillor Douglas. Questions? Councillor Dunn. Councillor Skull.
Just once those questions were flagged earlier on.
Yep. Thank you. Councillor Marshall.
I'd just like to know whether the council, in conjunction with the state government, could investigate a passing lane at the Giants Creek Sandy Hollow Cemetery when they have a
On the Golden Highway, talking about.
on the Golden Highway. That's what I'm saying. The state government, because when they have a burial there are hundreds of cars, and the potential for an accident is great. And there was one, I think, in 2012. It was near to fatality. I think at the least it just needs a passing lane. So,
Right. Thanks, Councillor Marshall.
bit of a response, but please, Mr. Mayor. Thanks, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much, Councillor Marshall. We have been advocating with Transport for New South Wales, as you've mentioned. It is a hazardous situation,
It's terrible.
and we will continue to do that, and we'll provide some feedback to you.
Even a Class A intersection. Class A intersection basically, you should just widen the shoulder, widen the shoulder around. You don't actually have a turning lane. You just give the road width. For the people when they prop, they can go around the outside.
Thanks, Mr. General Manager. Councillor Barry, Councillor Bailey, Councillor Mahajan, Councillor McNeil.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My question is, can council consider lobbying the state government for a review of the baseline starting point for our net zero target? And the reason for that is I think this could be actually crippling for our council. We have virtually a position where we're going to restructure our whole economy. The work you've been doing, the buffer land, the associated work that council has to do in association with that, Olympic Park, multi-purpose centre, the new depot will push our carbon emissions sky high. And if we're referencing, and that is of no fault of our own, that is because we have to adjust, we have to restructure ourselves. So under those circumstances, I wonder if we could have a case to the state government to have a review of our baseline.
If you're happy with it, it'll be state and federal government. It's federal
State and
government
federal.
are the ones that will dictate a lot of those figures. We can certainly advocate to, and I think it's important, particularly after tonight's conversation, it's important we do find out exactly what we're up against. And at the moment, I understand it is difficult. We have Sharon, director, who probably we're in a fortunate position, knows more than anyone in local council in regards, and she can't give us the answers. So that tells me that the answers aren't there at the moment, but we'll certainly advocate and do what we can.
Thank you.
Thanks, Councillor McNeil. Councillor Hartley. Councillor Morris.
No, thank you.
Councillor Ward. No, I certainly haven't. We will 16 will adjourn, so we'll move into closed council. Someone move to
No council reports.
yes, there will be. There isn't on mine, but there will be. Because I know what one you're going to give. I want you to. We'll go to council reports. Apologise for that. Council reports. Councillor Douglas, Councillor Dunn, Councillor.
I have one.
Go.
I had the absolute enormous pleasure of representing the mayor at the induction of Tommy Emmanuel, Dr. Tommy Emmanuel, as a Doctor of Music into the University of Newcastle. I represented Muswellbrook Council at the thing, and we were well and truly acknowledged. I was acknowledged first up as being present and representing Muswellbrook Council. Muswellbrook Council itself was mentioned. Muswellbrook itself was mentioned 4 times in the presentation. Tommy himself, I mentioned it, and his last words were, "Not bad from a boy from Muswellbrook." And he only lived here till he was 4, basically 4 or 5. Then he basically lived out of Kingswood for the rear end of the Kingswood for the next 15 years. Okay, but the beauty of actually doing it as well, being there and representing council, and a chance to actually meet the man who I've admired for a long time, and it was already going to his concert at the Civic that night. Then to sit through an impromptu 20-minute, half-hour concert, which he then gave to us all in the hall at the Conservatorium at Newcastle, was awe-inspiring. He's a very zany character, as you would expect, but when he walked in, big formal meeting, everyone in big robes, you can imagine, trumpets in the background, and Tommy's cruising into the meeting.
Councillor Scarlett, we record this video.
Oh, there's worse photographs of that in the housing world, don't worry. But it was to represent the council for someone like that, and for him to even acknowledge he left here when he was 4. So I did make the comment to him that he's one of the icons of the town. There's him, Donald Horn, and the Blue Heeler Dog, which he thought was quite amusing. But
Well, interesting. We have Donald Horn and the Blue Heeler Dog representative, and we've still got an entertainment centre to open here.
That's right. And he actually lives in Nashville now. But he comes to Australia quite often. But what he have you people ever listened to Tommy Emanuel? Yeah. What the music he can produce out of an acoustic guitar. There's the stringed part, there's percussion part, but he can actually play an acoustic guitar and get two levels of string music, one with the right hand up the top and the other on the back end. And it's two overlapping sets of music. It is the most amazing ability to it. And what he can produce percussion wise, and even out of just scraping the frets the wrong way and different things like that is amazing. Anyway, I thank you very much, Mr. Mayor, for the privilege. I had a great night.
No problem.
Don't
Thanks,
forget
Councillor
Liddell
Scott.
Chair.
Pardon?
Don't forget Liddell Chair.
Who?
Liddell Chair.
Oh, sorry, the Liddell Chair.
Oh,
Yeah, that was the other one. I
one.
forgot about that. The Liddell Chair just out here. Another interesting thing where I had roped in at the last moment from morning to evening, which thank you again, Mr. Mayor, for that.
I was up on the council.
I was told I wouldn't have to give a speech, but I did have to. But if you haven't seen the chair that's on the entrance into the library of an evening with regards to what it is, the sculpture, it is impressive. And again, it adds to that precinct and this whole precinct. We've got the In the Glow thing we did as well, which I commend. This whole precinct that we've got here is something to really be proud of. There's not many towns with something like this in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So what you tell us, Councillor Scott, is you enjoyed Tommy Emanuel. Councillor Marshall?
No.
Councillor Barry? Councillor Bailey? Councillor Mahajan? Councillor McNeil? Councillor Hartley?
No.
Councillor Morris?
No, thank you.
Councillor Ward?
No.
Well, I got a little bit of time left. Councillor Skull took most of it up. I will just report that, and certainly this has obviously been guided by councillors, but we've now visited the schools program. So we've now visited 10 of 12 schools in the last couple of weeks. It has been pretty busy. We've got a couple of schools to go. That'll happen next week in regards to the youth council, and certainly in regards to youth becoming more involved in the decision making of council. I think it's important. I was encouraged tonight by the support certainly councillors give in regards to. I think it is an important part, and certainly I couldn't have hoped for a better reaction from both primary schools and the high schools. Are all very excited about at least having the ability to give their view, for youth to give their view in regards to council moving forward. And I think it's certainly groundbreaking from this council, and I really appreciate all the support I've had in regards, and support we're going to need moving forward. I do understand councillors are serious about doing whatever we can, to involve the youth best we can in our decision making process, particularly when it concerns them. So thanks for your support, and we'll give a further report when we have spoken to a couple of remaining schools and where we might move to from there. So thank you. On that note, we will now move into a closed council. Have I got someone want to move that way? Councillor McNeil and Councillor Marshall. All those in favour? Unanimous. We'll move into closed council.
Recording.
Thank you.
Recording.
Yes. So for the purposes of closed council in regards to 17.1 in closed council draft risk appetite statements, it was decided unanimously that council adopts the risk appetite statements contained in the report. I'll now, with no further business to consider, I'll now call the meeting closed at 6:53. And thank you, councillors, for having a full team tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.